come to realize that one of the least talked about expenses for home buyers, particularly first-time home buyers who might not even be very aware or know what to think about this, is the cost of maintaining a home. So everybody talks about the cost to the first-time home buyer of down payment money and, of course, the monthly payment, which includes the mortgage and the interest, and often people roll in their homeowner's insurance and taxes. So those topics are usually covered by the lender, and most first-time and other home buyers are aware of those costs going in. But there's a lot of other costs about owning a home that people seem to not think about often. The first one, and this is not really maintenance, but it's one that I often will mention to my first-time home buyers, especially those who are moving from a smaller apartment maybe into a house, is the cost of furniture. It's expensive to furnish a house. And a lot of times, again, people don't think about that. But what I really want to focus on in this video is maintenance. So let's talk about exterior maintenance first. You obviously have the house itself. So you have to think about the roof and whatever the exterior is. Is it brick that's going to require pointing? Is it siding that probably doesn't require much work unless it's wood, in which case it will require painting? But there are other things outside. How about your driveway? Or if there is a detached garage that is not in good shape. There's also tree work. Anybody who has had tree work done knows that it's always so much more expensive than you think it should be or than you expected. So if you have trees that need to be trimmed or a dead tree that needs to be removed and then you want to get rid of the stump as well, can be very, very costly. And then there's just general landscaping, whether that's planting shrubs or bringing in soil to get the grade flatter, or maybe you have to plant grass seed or put sod down, and just even mowing the lawn if you're going to hire somebody to do that. Plowing the driveway if you get snow. All of those things are costs that people don't often think about. Of course, inside the house, you have your major systems, your HVAC or your heat and air conditioning, and your water heater. And of course, again, if you have a wet basement, that can be a huge expense to fix. We didn't talk about windows, because they fall kind of both in the inside and the outside category. But if you have old windows or windows that aren't functioning properly and you want to replace them, it's really expensive. Then, of course, there are appliances. After a certain amount of time, your washer and dryer and refrigerator and stove, and those appliances get old and stop working and you need to replace them. They're sort of not optional. You might need to paint the interior or the exterior or both. Your hardwood floors or carpeting, whatever flooring material you have, if you need to update or replace that. So I just said update. Updating is usually a cosmetic thing, and that's somewhat of a choice. But if you do want to update your 1971 bathroom or kitchen, you have to obviously budget for that as well. So as far as budgeting, depending on where you are, the cost of the home, the way the home is heated, and a lot of other factors, the average estimate is usually between 2 and 4% per year of the purchase price that you should budget for maintenance and repairs. Now, many years you might not even hit 2%, but the year you have to put a roof on, that year could be 6%. So it averages out. So a couple things that you should consider when trying to come up with a budget or a plan for maintaining your home and just figuring out how much to put aside. And it's not a bad idea to have a separate account, a separate bank account that's just kind of for that. So you want to look at your systems and their current age, looked at against their life expectancy, and what the cost is to replace those things. And you also want to determine if it looks like there's going to be a lot of items that are likely to fail at the same time, so you don't get walloped with a really big number of things that you have to do at a very high expense all at one time. Now, sometimes that can't be helped. But again, if you do a little bit of research and a little bit of planning and put some money aside, you will be better off. So don't forget, when you are thinking about buying a home, whether it's your first home or your fifth home, that you want to be wise and budget and put some money aside for maintenance and repairs.